So I'm going to go over here and start, in the past with this High Priestess and, with this Dreams card sitting over top of her. I can't help but feel like this is about that, that third eye chakra that you all have been having, problems with, right? Gave you some problems, but I feel like this is, you're kind of, or at least you're getting close to really getting a grasp on it, right? Like it felt really active, but it felt good. I feel like you all are getting a grasp on how to decipher, how to, just deal with some of the images, and maybe some of those have subsided. But of course, this is saying, pay attention to your dreams. Not only that, though, but your hunches, right? Your dreams that you have out in the world, right? This is this can be about success. And it says a win-win outcome is forecast here. So, maybe that you had like, and I'm getting, visioning kind of work, right? Kind of setting those manifestations, because the High Priestess does manifest. I also, of course, this unknown that we have, right? That you had to kind of really tune in to your intuition. And this is kind of like that completion of that. Well, I don't necessarily. It's not necessarily the completion, but I feel like you've, it's like universe is clapping its hands and saying, you've leveled up here. You got past that first stage, right? And I feel like you're feeling a lot more in tune, right, with the intuition. I mean, we do have this purple kind of like making its way across here. And it's up here too. So, yeah. Still, we have in the air element this Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. And actually, I feel like it's more like this. And I do feel like this is like intentional heart chakra work, right? Looking at your relationships. This is Saturn in Libra, and we have Libra here. This Venus energy here. This is Venus in Cancer, actually, which we have here as well. And this is Saturn, so that's interesting, right? This is this completion of this cycle here. And this is kind of what you're, and this full moon in Taurus is bringing about endings to, some big cycles, right? This is the ending and the beginning, and we see ending, right, with these full moons, and right in the center, this new moon, this new start with the Two of Cups. Yes, Venus. And Venus rules Libra. Venus is in Libra, or it moves into Libra this week, right? So this is kind of highlighting your relationships, and that I keep on thinking about that Ace of Swords that came out in the beginning. And it's like you have found the truth, right? By looking at this, by going through, and you're weary about, it's not been easy, right? But you're going, it is the Nine of Wands. You are, keeping it up. But you get that truth. By looking at this, you find that truth. You get that aha moment. And that's, this Knight of Swords over here, right? Next week, because I do kind of see this is like a flow of energy through the time period. You have this, you're going forward with that truth. There is a warrior. This is the wounded warrior. This is my warrior for truth. Yes, and it's like this new strength that comes through. You're getting hit with that. So, and these energies have been, like I said, this is like, yeah, there's really some great stuff that's going to be coming through with this, but it's a lot, it is intense energy. And I see that here. And like I said, it's been kind of a mixed bag. Some people are handling this energy. They're really feeling the Venus energy, which, we are seeing is like the centerpiece, right, of this. But that week that leading up to that full moon seems to be pretty intense for you guys. And I do have to say, if you, with this, I get migraines, headaches. And with this High Priestess, even sometimes with this stuff, if you get them, kind of, if there's, if any like certain things that you can do or certain triggers, pay attention, right? Just saying. All right, so this is the heart of this reading right here. And it's so beautiful. This is that luck energy. This is balance. Yes, this is love. I do see that with all this, Libra energy in here. This Knight of Chalices in your underlying. Even this Strength card, right, in your emotions. I'm just seeing new love coming in for you. And there's a luck factor to it. And like I said in the beginning, right, that has been coming through. This could be a chance meeting with that person. Who knows? But it's speaking really loud. Because this full moon in Libra, and this is, all about Libra is, well, not all about relationships, but a big part of it. And, this is like, win-win outcome is forecast. And of course, this, I see this as you closing out a karmic cycle, right? With Libra and Justice and this World card. And success, right? There's like, it's being met with success and reward. I also get the sense of you, it's optimistic energy, right? This, having that faith that everything is working out, that justice is being served in the world, that we will come back into balance, and all of that, There's this advocacy, too, with this Knight of Swords that's coming through with that. Even this, right? It's like everything that's going on in the world right now. It's like, can we just get it over with already, right? And then this in your underlying, once again, I just, especially with this full moon in Aries touching this Three of Swords, this is this Mars retrograde and this energy of, and Chiron being there and kind of, going, this is the divine masculine as well, right? The Emperor, because we have the divine feminine really showing up strong here, like, two cards came out with the divine feminine, with this one love, right? At the bottom of the deck. Temperance. Temperance can be about soulmates, right? Long-term love. And it took patience, right, to get here. But yeah, I just see, and this is like I think about the only card in the deck that has like a smiling figure, and it's a cat. So I really feel like, you know, there is a completion, right? This, and it's a fiery climax approaches, and and this is that fired up energy, right? That boost that you get here with this Knight of Swords and the Strength card. Because this Mars retrograde has been rather draining on us. So it's nice that you're getting that boost. But yeah, and this is optimism and, you know, really leading with your heart. This is beautiful energy. That's why when I, you know, pulled all this out, I was just so happy to see this. These didn't, but I knew right away that this was like something that you're consciously working at. Not that it might be some kind of like, you know, this is forgiveness, right? Forgiveness to yourself, forgiveness to others. I just really see this as healing, right? With all this following after. Yeah, absolutely. So then we have in the fire element, this Knight of Swords. And, you know, this is just really holding on to that truth. And it's interesting, you know, we see the wind blowing this way, right? And it's this, you, the cat here, are charging right into it, right? These are the winds of change, and you're just like running right into it now, right? You got that, epiphany, this discovered this truth, and you know, you're just ready to move forward with it, right? I mean, like, this is the fire element is the action. This is also spiritual, right? And I just always get this warrior for truth, and yeah. You know, it's just, it's very, a lot of integrity I'm getting off of this, especially with this Strength card sitting here. This is in the water element, and, you know, this 26 here, this lead, makes an 8. So I feel like it's tied to this, especially in the water element, right? And I feel like you're really mastering those emotions, right? Not allow, you know, kind of learning from them, right? You've figured out how powerful they are and how to use them, or you are in the process of doing that. You know, you've realized it, right? This Knight of Swords here. Not necessarily that that's your truth that you figured out, but it's a part of it, right? And you're mastering that now. I got this card in that position for a whole month. And yeah, I mean, like, that leads to this patience here, right? And we do see this little lamb figure in both of them, which further ties them together. And we see this lemniscate up here, which is very much manifestation, right? And just it being able to hear other people's truths, right? Or, you know, what they perceive as truth, and meet it with, you know, it's like there's less triggering that happens, right? You're able to just chill, you know, and it's not like you don't have reactions, but you learn how to channel that energy effectively. Yeah, very strong this week. And I mean, this week is strong too, because I think that this is like kind of that warrior energy, and you are kind of, because we have the High Priestess on this side of it, right? I mean, like, it's all high level energy. Absolutely. And so in the future, we have the Chariot. And this is, you know, that this energy combined, all of this energy combined, right? This is that taking that balance, that courage. You know, this is like all of this stuff rolled into one, which makes it so powerful. And success, right? That too, even. That's amazing that it's like combining everything and really you're taking that into the future. And this is like on the path. You've got it together, right? This is like really harnessing all those skills, and it's heart driven. And it's success. Chariot is, you know, that's like one of the most oldest interpretations is success, right? Beautiful. Because, I mean, I see that here too. All right, let's get a piece of art. We're going to get art. We're going to... I just want to take a look here. Yeah, because like this way, right? This is like this heartache, the healing, and moving forward with that truth. And this way, you know, keeping on, healing, strength, you know, it's just, it's really gorgeous, guys. All right, so we're going to get art. We're going to get closing guidance. And then we'll take a quick look at all the underlying together to see what kind of story it's telling. All right. For Leo, we're going towards the back here. Okay. To the right. I'm always struck by this one, you know, because I take a glance over and like, I see this right here, and I see this, right? The colors mimic each other. This is called Castura by Frank Stella. It looks to be some kind of like collage. Yeah, and you know what I'm getting from this is like a collage of all of this stuff. And this christening feast here on the other side, you know, there's stuff that's been dropped, right? This is like all this like chaos. But finding like the repeating signs, right, are going to help us. Yeah, finding that's part of this high priestess, right? This dreams, right? Seeing the symbols, noticing the repeating signs. What do they mean? And then blocking out the stuff that doesn't make any sense. But over here, you know, we see this kind of chaotic scene. And, you know, nobody much cares, right? She's happy. You know, everybody's kind of just celebrating because we have this new baby, right? This new start in the midst of all the chaos. All is well. So yeah, block out the stuff that doesn't matter. You know, that's what I'm seeing with this right here. Is like just block out the stuff that doesn't matter. Pay attention to the signs.